Welcome back. This is Laura McGee with Leave Strong Divorce Services. Next, we are going to work on the FL-150, which is the Income and Expense Declaration. So head back to the Forms section of my website, scroll yourself down, and once you've had the opportunity to review this video, let's fill it out online. The website is going to take you back to PDF Filler. Once again, you'll fill in your name and your email address, and it's going to let you get started. Just so you know, when you do complete this form, it does give you the option of downloading a copy to your own computer as well as sending it to me. So do make sure you do that. All right, let's go. Once again, you will fill in your basic information. Let me get this out of your way. Fill in your basic information up here. Don't worry about the address of the court. I'll take care of that for you. And if you do know your case number, let's fill that in to keep everything up to date. Fill in your employment information. In this case, let's say that we're still working with husband as our example, and he works for Carlsbad High School. So he'll put in the address of the employer, the phone number of the employer, the fact that he's a teacher, the date he started working there, and if you are unemployed, if you lost employment, when did you last work? It's going to ask you to do that. How many hours you work per week, and what your gross earnings are. That's your earnings before you deduct any taxes. Take that information off your pay stub. If you happen to get paid every 2 weeks, make sure you take your 2-week gross income, multiply that by 26 pay periods, divide that by 12 to come up with your monthly income. Some people get a little distracted or confused by that portion. Section 2 is all of your personal information, so you'll fill that in. 3 is your tax information, so we're going to assume that this couple did file taxes in 2017, and the status would have been married, filing jointly at that time, and filing presumably with your spouse. So put your spouse in there, and filing here in California, unless you're filed in some other state, of course. And in this case, the parties have 2 children, so the number of deductions last year would have been 4. Even though that's going to change on their future filings. So next we want to know how much the spouse makes, and so we're going to put in $6,000. We're going to say that's how much she makes working at her job, and the reason he knows that is he's reviewed the tax returns. Okay. Once you've filled this out, don't date it or sign it. That's where you're going to do that. Wait until you bring it into my office. Go ahead and it'll be sent to me, but when you come to my office and we do the complete exchange of all of your financial disclosures, we'll date it on that one date, the date of the exchange. So page 2, this is your income. In this case, we said that dad's a teacher and he's making $7,500 gross per month in wages. That's based on his last 12 months. And let's assume he's still earning that. His last month's wages was $7,500. If you are a teacher, oftentimes you're being paid for 10 or 11 months. Make sure you've averaged your monthly gross wages over 12 months if you're only paid for 10 or 11 of them. You'll see all types of salary information and income information. Any kind of income that you earn, including disability, Social Security, pensions, all the income that you earn must be reported, okay? So if any type of income reported here, and of course be prepared to attach copies of the proof of how where that income's coming from and how you came up with the number. And in this case, we're going to add that dad also earns income from business because he is a tutor. Let's say he's been tutoring for 10 years, so he'll put that in here. Name of his business is Mathman, and he is a tutor. And so we have to look and see what does he earn from a second source of business, because all sources of income need to show up here. And he would have a Schedule C, which he will attach, and he's going to say, I earn an average of $1,200 per month over the last 12 months, but perhaps in the summertime I was only making $500 last month because I don't work as much in the summertime, presumably. If there's any other types of income, it's going to go here. Maybe you won the lottery. Wouldn't that be nice? Had an inheritance. Even if it's not income reported above, it goes in here. And if there's been a change of your income, meaning that you've lost employment or found a great new job, and it was less than 12 months ago, indicate that here. Next, the deductions. It's a great idea to have your pay stub ready when you fill this form out. So the pay stub is going to have the information you need to fill out the deduction section. Required union dues would go here. So let's say dad has to pay $110 for union dues. Since he is a teacher, it's required. Any required retirement, so not Social Security from your pay stub, not 401k, not IRAs, mandatory retirement. So teachers do pay into a pension plan. It's not optional. So let's say dad has to pay $800 per month into his STIRS plan. Each of you, if you pay medical, dental, or vision insurance, even if the children aren't included in the plan, if you're paying any amount and that's recorded on your pay stub, put it here. And let's say because dad's a teacher, it's included in his plan and he actually has 0. So we'll put zeros in even when it's 0. And if you're paying spousal support to another prior marriage, it'll be recorded here. And necessary job expenses not reimbursed by the employer, and let's say as a teacher, he goes ahead and spends $50 a month making sure his classroom's full of supplies and nobody pays him back for that. So take a look at your personal circumstance to see how to do that. And section 11 are the asset sections. So pull out your FL-142, your list of assets and debts that you've already completed, and you're going to use this to come up with the figures requested here. How much cash do you have? Stocks and bonds, what did you have on your form? Real property, so if you own property and including all your personal property, which would be pretty much what you could garage sale your life for, that's going to be recorded here. Next, we're going to go to the expense page, average monthly expenses. If anybody's living with you and helping you to pay your expenses, put them in the section up here. And if you have just a disparity of income between the two of you and you imagine there could be negotiations around spousal support, I recommend that rather than filling out this page 3, the budget is very limited number of categories. Plan on, instead of this page, using the budget expense worksheet. That's the next document on my website. If there's no argument about spousal support and you both are earning enough income to support yourselves independently, this might be sufficient. The reason it's not sufficient for many people is there's a lot of budget items that people spend in an everyday course of their life that really aren't listed here. This form, you'll see if you look at the bottom, 2007, it's been around for a long time. It's not current with most people's lifestyle. So if you want a more comprehensive budget, let's use the budget worksheet. If this works for you, feel free to fill it out. It doesn't add itself up for you. You've got to take care of doing that. If you do want to use it, you probably are going to have to attach a list of other expenses that were not listed here. Netflix, Sirius Radio, getting your hair done, going to the gym. Expenses like that don't have a category here. And if you have some monthly rotating expenses, so perhaps you might pay, Hogan's Gardening, what for, yard maintenance, $120 a month, and that you owe 0 and you pay monthly. These types of things might go here. You take everything that's listed in item 14, you add it up, and you come up here to P, and you total it over here so that you get the total amount you pay monthly in expenses. And you want to know, is somebody helping you to pay these expenses? Maybe your parents are supplementing your income right now, maybe previous support from somebody else, or maybe you're just digging through your savings to manage your budget right now. Record that. You will not fill out the attorney's fees section unless you have an attorney, and if you do, your attorney fills that out, so you'll be able to disregard that section. The final page relates to whether or not you have children. If you don't have children, you don't have to fill this out. So in this case, the parties have 2 children, and we are going to say that they spend equal amount of time, 50-50, with each parent, and that, and if you're not sure of the percentage, don't worry, we'll work that out together here. And in this case, dad is paying for the health care, and let's just say he's got United Healthcare. That'll get filled in, and he'll fill in the address and all the information. So this is just sort of indicating who's covering the health care costs of the children, because that's going to be accounted for when the child support calculation is done. Once you've completed this form, you will have completed all of the disclosures, unless you're still working on the budget worksheet, and you'll be able to set up your next mediation appointment. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, lauramcgee@leavestrong.com. Thank you.